Hi everyone, it's Keren here, your local personal trainer and online healthy lifestyle coach. And I'm here with my beautiful client, Karla, who is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hi, Karla.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining me. I just wanted to ask you a few questions in hope that you can answer honestly, obviously, to the people who are watching the video now, just to tell them a little bit about your journey. And I guess let's start off with what you were doing prior to working with me. It's been 4 months that we've been working together. Where were you before you reached out to me?
Well, I was following you on YouTube. I was doing your Zumba routines routinely on YouTube, but probably 4 or 5 days a week. And I was kind of getting bored with what I was doing, and I really wasn't seeing any kind of progress in either my weight or my like strength or flexibility. So I reached out to you on Facebook DM and asked you first about Zumba, and then we got to talking about other things, and that's when I actually kind of got into it more.
Yeah, it was really exciting to hear from you. I always love hearing from people across the globe. So that was really exciting. And also to know that you've been following my Zumba for such a long time. So I'm glad that that was something that kept you going, I guess, through COVID as well. Um,
Yes.
Something that we discussed early on was the idea of incorporating some other types of movement, including sort of strength training. And we also talked about how nutrition can affect your goals. Um,
Right.
I know that you weren't quite expecting to hear all of that. So in that first call that we had, what were you skeptical about? What were your thoughts in that moment?
Well, for one, I didn't know if I'd be able to do it. It's hard to make changes when you've been doing something for so long. You kind of get in a rut. So when you try to get out of the rut, it's a little it's kind of intimidating. You're like, gee, can I do this? Or and do I really want to do it? Like, is it worth it? And I have to say, so far it's definitely paid off for me.
Fantastic. You've really achieved some wonderful things. If you're happy, maybe just to mention a couple of the changes that you did make, and then maybe the results, what you
Well,
feel.
diet wise, I've definitely increased my protein intake. I was like probably 20% of my diet or less was protein. And with your coaching, I've increased it. You had suggested 40%. I'm probably somewhere between 30 and 40. But I'm like supplementing with protein powder several times a day, which doesn't always taste the greatest, but it seems like it's working, I guess. I don't really know how you measure whether it's working, but I mean, I'm doing it, so, and it's not having an adverse effect, so we'll assume that it's having a positive effect. I'm diet wise also, I'm like trying to limit my carb intake because I'm kind of a carb addict. I love my pasta and I love bread. Sweets not so much, but definitely pasta and bread. So I've taken to eating zucchini noodles or cauliflower noodles, or and bread. I'm eating like a almost 100% seed bread, and that helps because it kind of satisfies my cravings for those kinds of things. And as far as the pasta goes, I'm still having my homemade bolognese and marinara that I make, but it's just not on a traditional gluten-filled pasta. So that's kind of what I've done for my diet. Um,
Fantastic. Such
and
great
then
changes for your health.
Yeah, and I feel a lot better. And I think you can see it if you look at my weight, my weight chart. I have spikes, but since I quit drinking too, and I wasn't really drinking that much. I was having maybe a glass of wine over the weekend. Where did you go?
I'm just
Oh,
showing, can you see the screen there? Look at those amazing
yeah.
results. That's 4 kilos down.
But I think a large part of that too is because I did quit drinking wine. even though I wasn't drinking that much wine, I was having like maybe a glass or two on the weekends with my dinners. And I've totally cut that out. I have not had any alcoholic beverage since January 1st. So that is a big, well, when you told me if I gave up wine and did 10,000 steps a day, I shouldn't have any problem at all losing weight. And I think the graph bears that out, because I'm doing like 5 miles a day walking, which is about 10,000 steps. And some days I get more, and I'm not drinking wine. And I think, I'm happy with my weight loss, and I'm going to keep going, but I'm not going to go too much further, because I don't know if that's really like the healthy thing to do if I lose too much weight.
There will come a time, Karla, where it will plateau. That sort of
Okay.
scale will continue to drop, but your body will get used to what you're doing as well, and it will plateau. And that's where you will need to make a decision. Do you up the ante and challenge yourself further, or do you just keep living a healthy and balanced life, which I hope that is what you're feeling now, that you haven't sort of had to compromise too much or change your lifestyle too much, that you're happy with the changes that you've made.
I'm happy with the changes that I've made. I'm happy with my clothes are fitting a lot looser. I may have to go out and buy a few more things. But right now I'm going to keep going the way I'm going and see where it leads me.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to touch on the comment you made a little bit earlier about increasing your protein. You mentioned you're not too sure if doing that has made a change, but you can see that all the little things that you've done in combination make a change. And so all the pieces of the puzzle, when they fit and they work, changes can happen. Often, if one piece of the puzzle is not in sync, it can slow the entire process down. So hopefully having that protein is what's fueling you, keeping you full, stopping you having those cravings as well.
Mhm.
And then also helping you with the exercise that you are doing, because you're doing exercises now that you've, I think, never done before or haven't done
I'm
for.
doing exercises now that I never thought I could even do. So,
That's
um,
such a wonderful and empowering thing for you. So really, well done on challenging yourself and doing things that are going to help you for the next decade, 2 or 3, hopefully.
well, I doubt that it'll be 3, but it could be 2.
Never know, Karla. You're living a really wonderful, healthy life now. If you don't mind me asking, what's been enjoyable about this process? What have you taken from this process of working online with me?
Um, it's hard to say. I mean, I think my confidence has definitely improved. Um, and I feel like I feel like I'm doing a lot more things that I never even imagined that I could do. Like lifting weights. Like I never thought of myself as lifting weights, even though my daughter always said to me, you need to be lifting weights. And I'd say, oh no, I can't do that. I'm old. But now that I'm doing it, it's like when I go for my walks, I almost feel kind of like it's not complete unless I have some light weights with me.
Yeah, and not to scare the people who are watching this video now, you didn't go from 0 to 100. It was a gradual increase of
You know,
activity.
right. I mean, when I started doing the weight um routine that you gave me, I mean, I started with like 2-pound weights, 2-pound like hand weights in each hand, and now I'm up to 10 in 4 months. So, I mean, I would have never thought that I could have accomplished that much in 4 months.
And that's just a reminder again to people watching, is that with slow progress, as long as you don't give up and you just keep challenging yourself that little bit more, great things can happen. And that's what we're seeing
Mhm.
with you. Karla, thank you so much. The last question, I guess, before we sign off is, who would you recommend to do this type of coaching program? Who might benefit from this? If anyone's watching now at home thinking, that they want to make a change to their bodies or their
I
health.
mean, I think anybody could benefit from this. I mean, it really, it's hard to say who would benefit more, but I think anybody could at least try it. I mean, that was my biggest thing was, for months, well, actually for years, I worked out at Curves and I did Zumba, and I really wasn't seeing any real change in my self-esteem or my confidence or my body. And then when I started working with you, you kind of reinforced things with me that my daughter's been telling me for years that I've never listened to. But to hear it from somebody outside really, it, to me, it like meant more. Like, I don't know how else to say it.
It's often the case that we love our family so much, and we have the best intentions with them, but it's like a broken record, and we need to sort of hear that from a professional or for somebody else.
Yes.
So totally
Yes.
understand that. Yeah, and I appreciate that. I think people do need to be self-motivated. So the fact that you have been able to do what's required of you, sometimes it can be really hard for people. And again, once again, I take my hat off to you for really sticking with the plan, not giving up. But as you said as well, people just need to give things a go. If something you've been doing isn't working, then try something different, perhaps with someone who can support you personally and guide you.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what I was doing, I was like on a plateau.
Yeah.
And I wasn't making any progress one way or another. And kind of the spark that you lit has really given me like encouragement to do more even, so.
That's really what I do this for, and to just help support people. And I'm so glad that I've been able to support you on your journey and get some wonderful results, Karla. I'm so proud of you. So
I
thank you
think
for
you and my Apple Watch have helped me immensely, because now it's like right here all the time, and I can check and see how many steps did I get, how many calories did I burn, how much activity have I done. And I think that helps me too, because if you're not paying attention to those things, you can't make improvements on things that you're not monitoring or you're not measuring. So
100%. The famous quote goes, "What gets measured gets managed."
yes, exactly.
And like your watch is there to support you 24/7, I'm here to support you 24/7. So thank you so much, Karla. Thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you for your help. I couldn't have done this without you.
You're absolutely welcome.